everyone, and welcome to the December 2020 Energetic Insights. For those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Deepika Mistry, and I'm an intuitive guide, energy healer, coach, and a consultant. And for over a year now, I've been sharing these energetic insights on a month-by-month basis. And it's really geared up for those of you guys that are becoming more and more consciously aware of your intuitive and energetic abilities and are looking for some practical guidance to help you to navigate your way through. So if that sounds like you, welcome, you're here at the right place. So how was fiery November for you? Did you feel the fireworks exploding? I know I did for sure. And I feel that December is going to be another intense month. And truth be told, I feel like the next year, the intensity is going to keep on increasing. It's almost like the more we're expanding in our consciousness, the more intense it's going to get as well. And then it will ease off because as we get used to that new level of vibration. So that's why it will kind of feel intense initially, because it's the first time we may be experiencing these new energies, new vibrations. So in the first instance, it will always feel intense. So, but I do feel for the end of December that we're going to have some sort of breathing room there. So it's almost that we'll be able to expand and our lungs will be able to breathe. One of the key things that I was feeling about December is that it feels like it's going to be this kind of processing and activating month. And what it means is that there is a sense of movement from our knowledge, the theoretical things that we know about, to actually application and being. And also there is this underlying kind of acceptance. The more we're able to kind of accept who we are and where we are, the more it allows us to expand, and it more allows us to see things from various different perspectives. And there's a key kind of element around judgment that kind of flows through most themes this month. So let's take a moment and revisit the themes for November. And as always, I think a lot of the past themes are still they're like waves. So a lot of the things that come up in September, October, November, you'll still see some of those waves playing out in December and going forward. So it's always worth going back and having a look. So a quick recap of November. So the four themes for November were really, the first one was reactive fireworks, where you would have felt like you're in this pressure cooker and the fireworks are kind of exploding. Boundary management, which was pretty huge, and there was a new layer, especially for those of you guys that are empaths and sensitives. It's almost like there's a new level, new understanding of what it means to have those boundary managements in place and the importance of it. Many of us would have gained some sort of clarity and connection and knowing, which was the third theme, and the fourth theme was expansion of senses. So those were the key themes. If you're resonating with any of them, feel free and go back and have a look at those themes in November. So theme 1 for December is called Judgment Day. And this is going to be pretty fiery this month, and many of us are going to feel lots of judgments coming up, right? And some of us are going to recognize it as judgment, and some of us are not. We're going to see it as things that irritate us, make us angry, make us furious, and really get our blood boiling. But really, it's a reflection back of our own judgments. So those of us that are ready to kind of explore this is that we're going to be able, it's going to be a great opportunity where our judgments are going to be reflected back to us, so that it will help us to kind of unearth and uncover some of our narratives and our belief patterns that is hindering us and stopping us from moving forward. The key thing here is to note around judgment is that it's often when we are judging other people, we have that judgment or that belief within ourselves that causes that judgment to come out. So, and often with judgment, it's also about being compassionate. So judgments generally are safety mechanisms that help us kind of feel like we are in control of our life. So, and it's often really, we kind of see it as black and white and right and wrong. And behind the judgments are generally a set of beliefs that are there to keep us safe, and also there to help us be that good boy or that good girl. So really with judgment is allowing yourself to be compassionate when you recognize you are judging someone, and look at that as an opportunity that whatever judgment is being reflected back to you, or if you catch yourself being judgy towards somebody else, it's an opportunity to explore the underlying beliefs and narratives so that you can continue to grow and expand in conscious awareness. So this is the key kind of thing about this. So there are some questions here that I've written down that I feel that will help you with the judgment. And it's also about, often when we are think about wearing judgment as a pair of glasses. And when we have that judgmental glasses on, like I've mentioned before, things are either right or wrong, black or white, and we often come, and there's also a perspective of lack and limitation as well. So first thing to navigate judgment is to catch yourself judging. And we'll find ourselves judging, or we'll maybe say, oh, look at that person, or look at that person, or look what they're doing, look what they're not doing. And if you catch yourself having those kind of thoughts, then there's going to be a judgment in there. So that's the first thing. Catch yourself when you're judging someone or judging yourself. And if you can't see it, notice when you're getting frustrated and when you're getting angry, and then ask yourself, oh, is this frustration and anger coming from a judgment? And then you'll be able to catch that judgment. So then the second bit is ask yourself, who are you judging and why? Who are you judging and why? Then go into the next question, say, how does it make you feel? How does being judgmental towards this person in this way, how does that make you feel, right? And then take it a step further and look at what is the trigger behind the judgment. So you can ask yourself, so what's being triggered within me that's causing me to have this judgment, right? And then go even a step further inwards and say, what is the judgment protecting? What is the judgment protecting? And then, how is this judgment helping me? The thing with judgment is, do not shame it, right? It's about loving it. And when we don't shame it and we love it instead, we're able to integrate that aspect of ourselves, right? It's just a part of ourselves that we've often shamed, or we pigeonholed, or we want it to be in a particular way to be that good girl, to be that good boy, that it comes with a lot of narratives and beliefs. So this is a great opportunity to this month to really get underneath the judgments. And this is going to be, it will feel really, really liberating. The process itself can be a bit sticky and tight and a bit, I don't want to go there, but allow yourself to go there. And remember, you'll never be faced with anything that you're not ready for. So if you're seeing and experiencing it, you are ready for taking that step further. So that is the first theme for this month. The second theme for this month is called rabbit holes. So this one is really, really interesting. And I think a lot of this kind of started off in the middle of November, and I felt a bit of this as well. And what the rabbit holes are, there are going to be a number of different rabbit holes that we're going to find ourselves being drawn into, sucked into. And as we get drawn and sucked into this rabbit hole, there's going to be a victim consciousness. And the narratives are going to be around the victim and the perpetrator narratives in there. And this will also be filled with collective fears and also personal fears. So it's one of those things you don't even know that you've dropped into a rabbit hole. You just kind of slide in and it sucks you in and you find yourself spinning. So this month, if you find yourself that you feel like you're spiraling out of control, or you're drowning, or like the whole world is against you, everything's against you, or everything is an uphill battle, just take a moment and just think, oh, have I gone down a rabbit hole? Right? Because the chances are you probably have. So what is the opportunity? Like with everything, I think that some of the things we can look at, there's two sides of it. We can look at it as negative, or we can look at it positive. And I tend to look at everything that there's an opportunity for us to really grow and learn from everything that we experience. So These rabbit holes are really about strengthening, and it's really interesting the word that I got, strengthening this, your conscious choice muscle, which sounds really, really bizarre because it doesn't really make sense to me either, but that's the word that I got, this conscious choice muscle. And another muscle that is going to help strengthen is the self-empowerment muscle, also your perspective muscle and present moment muscles. So this experience is really about strengthening these muscles, but it's also an opportunity for us to really heal our wounds. So it's often when we get sucked into these rabbit holes, there's something within us that's also drawing us in. And once we've healed that part of ourselves, is that we can almost walk past the rabbit hole without getting drawn in, or we can be in the rabbit hole and just like, oh, I'm in a rabbit hole and this is okay. Whereas for most of us this month, it's going to feel quite, oh my God, I'm drowning. Oh my God, this, the whole world's against me. And it's also going to give us an opportunity to really take a moment to acknowledge how far we've actually come, or how far you've actually come on your own personal journey. And that is going to be key. So one of the things with the rabbit holes is we're going to have a tendency to want to fight it, to get out of it. The key thing here is not to fight it. First thing of all is to recognize, crap, I'm in a rabbit hole. Okay. Right? And the second thing is to be still, be present, right? Don't push it away, don't fight it. It's like, okay, I'm in the rabbit hole. I'm going to be present with this rabbit hole. Then you can ask yourself these questions. So, what is this experience teaching me? What is this experience revealing to me? And then finally, it's like, okay, so it's a teaching moment. So then you have a choice. This is why I think, it's about strengthening that conscious choice muscle. Then you have a conscious choice to make. It's like, where do you want to put your energy? Where do you want to put your focus on? So ask yourself, what do I want to put my energy stroke focus into? Okay. What vibration do I want to align with? Okay. What narrative belief do I want to shift? So you're almost starting to make conscious choices, knowing that you are in this rabbit hole. But actually, even though at points you feel like you're spiraling out of control and you have no control, you have control because you are strengthening this conscious choice muscle by just going through this dialogue. The key thing here is also don't judge yourself, right? Or beat yourself up while you're going through this process. It's totally okay if you've been sucked into a rabbit hole. And for some of us, we're going to find ourselves going into one after another. And there might be one rabbit hole within another rabbit hole. And, our natural instinct is want to kind of fight it and climb out of it. And this is really about surrendering into it and relaxing into it and accepting that this is where you are at the moment and it's actually okay. And there's something that there's a way in which you can benefit from it. So if you find yourself fighting it, think about strengthening. Okay, I'm going to strengthen this conscious choice muscle. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it feels like right now, but my intention is to strengthen that. Or my intention is to strengthen this self-empowerment muscle, or this perspective muscle, or this present moment muscle. All of these things is going to help you to kind of expand. So it's really exciting in that way because we're going to learn new and different things for this. So remember, don't judge yourself, don't beat yourself up, and allow yourself to relax into it. And I know this sounds absolutely bonkers, but have fun. The more fun you have, it just shifts your energy and it shifts your vibration from the victim perpetrator vibration to a more kind of child's play, curious, creative vibration. And that in itself, you can almost step out. It's almost like the rabbit holes will melt if you can focus on having fun and being curious with them. Okay, so I hope that helps you for theme number 2. The third theme, just need to clear my throat. The third theme is more as a reminder. So what I got for the third theme is for us all to remember there is more than one perspective. There is more than one perspective. All because you don't agree with something doesn't mean that it's not valid. Okay, so Before I go into that, there's an exercise that I want you to try. My guides got me to do this before, and I was just cracking up because it was a little bit funny and a bit silly as well. So the exercise is, take a moment. If there's a window in your house and you can get to it as close, like as long as you can get to it with your nose touching the windowsill, the first thing I want you to do is go up to the window and look out the window with your nose touching the glass of the window, and just take a moment and to look around, look what you see without moving your body or your head. You move your eyes if you need to move your eyes, but just take a moment to just see whatever it is that you see. Okay. This was quite funny because I saw a lot of steam coming up because obviously I'm breathing on the glasses. And then take one step back and then take note of what you see in that frame. Okay. Then take several steps back, right? And then take a moment to see what you see after you've taken several steps back. And then you may even want to try standing on a chair or standing on a table or even on a ladder and looking out at the same window. So the purpose of this exercise is to remind you that depending on where you're standing, you're going to see what's in front of you completely differently, right? So if you're someone that is, you might be someone with your nose against the window. There might be someone behind you that's a couple of steps behind you. Your perspective and their perspective is going to be completely different because they're standing in different places, right? So it's really important to remember. And to remember that our perspective is the reason why this exercise is so powerful, because if you think about where you're standing, and where you're standing is basically determined by your belief system. And your belief system is determined by the experiences that you've had in this lifetime. Also, the stories that are being passed down your ancestral line, the community that you've grown up in, the workplace that you're in. All of those things affect you, the way that you've lived. We are all so unique, right? That no one person is going to have exactly the same perspective. We're all going to have different perspective, right? And all because your perspective is different to someone else's perspective doesn't make their perspective wrong. Both perspectives are equally valid, right? So I think it's going to be really key to remember that, because there's a lot of division and divide that's been created because we're having such a hard time accepting that there's more than one truth, there's more than one perspective, okay? And oftentimes to acknowledge more what it is that, sorry, my throat is going here, but what it is to remember that we often have a particular perspective because there's a particular belief behind that perspective, and there's a particular narrative behind that perspective. And that perspective changes and evolves as our belief system and our narratives evolve, right? And often we don't want to change our perspective because it will make us look back at our belief system, right, to change that. So we often to make sure that, okay, this is my belief system, right? This belief system is right, everything else is wrong, right? So I will not accept any other narratives, I will not accept any other perspectives that goes against this belief system, right? So you're almost protecting that belief system. And the key thing with everything that's happening at the moment on a personal level and an internal level, it's about allowing us to grow, allowing us to see things in various different ways, you know. As much as we think and behave the world, you know, many of us kind of see the world in black and white. The truth is, it isn't black and white. And on a logical level, you can say, yes, Topeka, yes, I know it's not black and white, but there's multiple colors, there's various different textures, there's various different shapes and sensations. So it's the same with perspectives. So just remember, there is more than one perspective, and each perspective is equally valid, right? And the key thing here is take a step back, quiet your mind, open your heart, and see what you see. So I'll repeat that. Take a step back, quiet your mind, open your heart, and see what you see. Okay, let's move on to the fourth and final theme. And this one is, in some ways, it's really simple, but it's incredibly powerful in terms of the energy. And the theme is self-love and acceptance. And so what I'm feeling for December is there's a very powerful energy around self-love and self-acceptance, you know, and which has got this potential to bring in this incredible amount of peace and harmony. And it's something that we've been seeking, right? But with this, it's also going to bring up a lot of our poop, so to say it. So a lot of our insecurities, things that we shame about ourselves, things that we beat ourselves up, but in particular our defensive stories. So often when we don't want to have a look at an aspect of ourselves that we're shaming or we dislike or the rest of it, or we're insecure about it, we have these stories or these narratives, and I call them like defensive stories, that are there protecting us. And the thing is that it's actually trying to, what the self-love and acceptance energy is showing us this month is that how this may not be serving you anymore, you know. And often behind the defense stories and stuff, there are a set of lies that we are telling ourselves. So that it's all about our safety. It's everything that is being rattled with these new energies that's coming around. It's more of our foundation level around safety. So it's, you know, working energetically on our root chakra. So what this is going to do is about seeing yourself in the mirror, right? Being able to, if you imagine looking at yourself in the mirror, completely and utterly naked, seeing all your wounds, all your scars, all the burdens, all the imperfections, everything that you dislike, looking at the mirror and accepting it and saying, this is me, I love me, you know. And it's that kind of vibration. This is what this energy is getting us to do, right? And often, sometimes, here's a trick, our ego also plays with us a little bit. So our egos sometimes get rebellious and it'll be like, this is me, I love me. But it's coming more from the head rather than the heart, right? And it comes with more of a defiant energy and a rebellious energy. So catch yourself if you find yourself in there. And not in a shameful way or a judgmental way. Be loving if you catch yourself in there. And just remember, there's nothing to prove, right? Each and every one of us, right? No matter how far we've come, no matter how far we think we love ourselves, self-love is expanding. These energies are shifting and changing. As the energies shift and change, it raises our awareness to see where we may not be as loving to ourselves as we could be, where we may not be accepting of ourselves as we could be. So take this as an opportunity to really bring in more love into your life, you know. And I feel that this is going to be a game changer, because this, I feel, is going to help us really balance and stay present and bring us more peace and harmony. So I really, really hope these insights have helped you and supported you this month, and you found them inspiring. And if you did, please, please, please do go ahead and share this with your families, your friends, your colleagues. Please do comment below, give us a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube, give us a like or love. You know, every share, every comment, every like really helps these videos to actually get out there and help reach more people that actually really need to do this. So every little thing that you can do will help me greatly. So the other announcement that I wanted to make is that there is no energetic alignment session this month. I'm going to be kicking that off next year in January. However, just keep an eye out on, because I'm going to be releasing some of the past ones as digital products, which you'll then be able to buy. And those of you that are looking for some gifts for your loved ones, just a quick reminder, there are some gift vouchers available at anumi.com/shop. And so give the gift of healing this holiday season. And yeah, that is it. And so yeah, I look forward to seeing you. Gosh, it's going to be 2021. So take care of yourself this month and really take a moment to reflect. your journey this year. It's been massive for all of us. So just create some space for yourself to have that moment of reflection. And don't forget, be super, super kind and gentle with yourself. All right. And I will see you in January 2021. All right. Take care. Bye for now.